Don Henley, rock legend, soulful vocalist of the Eagles, and mastermind of such memorable solo hits as The Boys of Summer. But behind the spotlight lies the story of a talented musician, a tireless advocate for music and the environment. Why did he decide to leave the Eagles? What ups and downs shaped his career and life? Discover Don Henley's incredible journey in this video. Childhood and early life. Don Henley was born on July 26, 1947, in Gilmer, a small town in Texas. He grew up in Linden, a small rural community with a strong country and rock and roll scene. Henley's family was middle class. His father, C.J. Henley, was a teacher and owner of an auto repair shop, while his mother, Huleen Henley, was a homemaker and caretaker. Henley had a passion for music from an early age, but was not the first in his family to follow that path. He grew up listening to the tunes of Hank Williams, Elvis Presley, and Roy Orbison, artists who would have a strong influence on his later musical style. Initially, Henley was not a professional instrumentalist, but was drawn to drums. In addition to music, Henley also devoted time to sports, especially American football, a popular sport in Texas. However, due to his physical inadequacy, he was out and not strong enough compared to other players. He quickly gave up his sports dreams to focus on music. Henley attended Linden Kildare High School, where he began his musical journey in earnest. Initially, he joined the school's marching band as a drummer. After graduating from high school in 1965, Henley attended the University of North Texas with the original intention of studying journalism. However, his passion for music prompted him to change direction. Here, he met many young musicians with similar interests and began working in a more professional musical environment. In the late 1960s, Henley joined Shiloh, a promising country rock band. The group quickly attracted the attention of Kenny Rogers, a famous country artist at that time. Rogers not only helped Shiloh sign a recording contract, but also guided Henley about the music industry. The band recorded an album in 1970, but did not achieve great success, forcing Henley to seek new opportunities. It was this experience that led him to leave Texas for Los Angeles, where fate brought him to Glenn Frey, his most important companion in his career with the Eagles. It was this period that laid the foundation for Don Henley's illustrious career later. From a Texas boy who loved country music, he stepped into the vibrant world of rock and roll in Los Angeles, preparing for the next chapters in his great musical journey. Career with the Eagles. When Don Henley traveled to Los Angeles in 1971 to find music, he met aspiring Detroit musician Glenn Frey. Henley was greatly inspired by country music and Southern rock and roll, while Frey was influenced by Motown and folk rock. They rapidly discovered musical similarities. They got their big break when Linda Ronstadt, a famous female singer, requested them to travel with her backup band. Then, Henley and Frey formed their band. Bernie Leadon, a bluegrass and country rock guitarist, and Randy Meisner, a bassist and powerhouse voice, were hired. The Eagles were a mix of country, folk, and classic rock. David Geffen, owner of Asylum Records, promptly signed the band, seeing their potential. Eagles 1972, their debut album, including singles like Take It Easy, co-written by Jackson Browne and Glenn Frey, Witchy Woman, featuring Henley, and Peaceful Easy Feeling. Smooth melodies, meaningful lyrics, and harmonized vocals made the Eagles' music a radio favorite. The Eagles' second album, Desperado, was a landmark in 1973. The album established the Eagles' sound despite its commercial failure. One of the group's most famous songs, Desperado, was co-written by Henley and Frey and called the Anthem of the Lonely Wanderer. Henley subsequently acknowledged that Desperado had personal value, representing his maturity and worldview. The Eagles evolved from country rock to mainstream after their first two albums. Their fourth album, One of These Nights, 1970, culminated this transition. This album made the Eagles one of the world's top rock bands, with singles like Lion Eyes, with Frey singing lead, Take It to the Limit, featuring Randy Meisner, and One of These Nights, a Henley and Frey classic. This album gave the Eagles their first platinum record and started their golden period. The iconic Hotel California was the highlight in 1976, the Eagles' most popular album and one of rock music's best. As the main singer on Hotel California and Life in the Fast Lane, Don Henley was crucial to this record. Hotel California, Joe Walsh and Don Felder's guitar riff made this song famous. Henley says the lyrics portray the grandeur, seduction, and evil side of the American ideal, inspired by 1970s Los Angeles decadence. New Kid in Town. Glenn Frey's sad lament about the music industry's constant change. Life in the Fast Lane, a dramatic song about rock musicians' affluent and perilous lifestyle. It won the Grammy for Album of the Year and went platinum 26 times. As lead vocalist and musical director, Don Henley became the Eagles' soul at this time. The Eagles released The Long Run, 1979, after Hotel California's popularity. Although unable to transcend the immense shadow of the previous album, The Long Run contained outstanding songs, including Heartache Tonight, I Can't Tell You Why, and The Long Run. Behind the halo, the Eagles grew nervous. Pressure to succeed, creative conflicts, a luxury lifestyle, and excessive partying exacerbated tension between members. Despite creating most of the band's songs, Don Henley and Glenn Frey fought over its direction. The highlight was a 1980 Long Beach concert where Frey and Felder almost fought. The Eagles then announced their separation. The end of the Eagles marked a major turning point in Don Henley's career, opening a new chapter with his impressive solo career. But could he maintain success without the Eagles? Let's find out in the next part. Solo career. After the Eagles broke up in 1980, Don Henley had to decide whether to pursue independent music or depart. He went solo because of his songwriting and gruff voice. Without Glenn Frey or the Eagles, Henley had to succeed in music. Henley's 1982 debut solo album, I Can't Stand Still, signaled his departure from the Eagles' country-influenced rock to a more personal sound that merged rock, pop, and new wave. The record garnered notice but failed commercially. Dirty Laundry peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Dirty Laundry. This song denounced the media and tabloid press for sensational coverage and truth distortion to lure readers. One of Henley's most famous solo songs was a financial and artistic triumph. The album's highlight is The Boys of Summer, an 80s classic still influencing today. The Boys of Summer. This narrative song mourns loss and irretrievable memories. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers guitarist Mike Campbell's guitar riff and heartbreaking melody are included. The words lament youth, love, and change. Henley won the 1985 Grammy for Best Male Rock Performance with this song. Henley's Boys of Summer is still recorded by various musicians and used in movies and ads. Building the Perfect Beast contains several great tracks besides The Boys of Summer. All She Wants to Do is Dance, a colorful, humorous song about Central America's political chaos. Sunset Grill, a sorrowful ballad about everyday workers in a fast-changing society. The album was certified 3 times platinum, confirming Don Henley's status as a top solo performer. After building the Perfect Beast's popularity, Henley released The End of the Innocents in 1989. The album was more personal and political, demonstrating his creative maturity. The album is one of Henley's greatest and went 6 times platinum. The End of the Innocents, written by Henley and Bruce Hornsby, is a lyrical song about the decline of traditional values and disillusionment in late 1980s American culture. Political lyrics criticize government shortcomings. The End of the Innocents garnered Henley a 1990 Grammy for Best Male Rock Performance. The song remains valuable because many see it as a mirror of society. The Last Worthless Evening, a sorrowful ballad about lost love, is another success on the album. A jazz fusion song discusses life's fragility and the unforeseen changes that may happen in a minute in New York. The End of the Innocence showcases Don Henley's talent as a vocalist and a musician who explores political and social issues. Not following the commercial trend, Henley has always played narrative rock with complex songs about social, liturgical, and personal themes. He often criticizes media and politics. Dirty Laundry, The End of the Innocence, All She Wants to Do Is Dance, Childhood Nostalgia, The Boys of Summer, Sunset Grill, The Last Worthless Evening, New York, Minute, Love, Loss, and Life Changes. Henley has also impacted recent bands, including John Mayer, Taylor Swift, and Counting Crow, with his lyrics. Entering the 90s, Henley temporarily stopped his solo career to focus on social and legal activities, especially environmental protection and artist rights in the music industry. He also began to consider a reunion with the Eagles, something many fans had been waiting for over a decade. So what made Don Henley decide to reunite with the Eagles? And can this legendary band regain its former glory? The Eagles' reunion and the years that followed. After 14 years of separation, what fans thought would never happen became a reality. The Eagles officially reunited in 1994. Previously, in the 1980s, Don Henley had declared that the Eagles would only reunite when hell freezes over. That's why, when they came back, the tour and new album were titled Hell Freezes Over, as a humorous affirmation that the impossible had come true. The reason for the Eagles' reunion came from many factors. Glenn Frey and Don Henley, after many years of tension, gradually mended their relationship when they met at music events. Both were successful with their solo careers, giving them their own creative space and no longer feeling the pressure they felt when they were in the band. A turning point came when they performed together at a benefit concert for Senator Alan Cranston, where they realized that the Eagles' music was still alive and could deliver magical moments. The band's reunion was marked by the album Hell Freezes Over, 1994, a product combining 4 new songs and old hits recorded during a live performance on MTV. One of the most prominent songs on the album is Get Over It, a satirical song that criticizes people who always blame their circumstances instead of taking responsibility for their lives. The album quickly became a huge success, topping the Billboard 200 chart and selling over 9 million copies in the US alone. This is a testament to the fact that the Eagles have never lost their position in the public's heart. After the success of Hell Freezes Over, the Eagles continued to tour and work together for many years. However, it was not until 2007 that they released a brand new studio album, Long Road Out of Eden. This double album of 20 songs marked the first time the Eagles had released a new album since The Long Run, 1979. The album was not only critically acclaimed, but also achieved impressive sales, with over 5 million copies sold worldwide. Some of the notable songs on the album include How Long, a cover of J.D. Souther, along with Busy Being Fabulous and What Do I Do With My Heart. In addition to his work with the Eagles, Don Henley continued his solo career and devoted much of his time to environmental protection activities. He founded the Walden Woods Project, a non-profit organization dedicated to preserving Walden Woods in Massachusetts, which was associated with writer and philosopher Henry David Thoreau. This is a project that Henley is particularly passionate about, as he believes that music is not just about entertainment, but can also convey profound social and environmental messages. In 2015, Don Henley released his solo album Cass County, a country-inspired product that expressed his love for the music that influenced him from a young age. The album reached No.1 on the Billboard Country Albums chart, showing that Don Henley's appeal is still intact after decades of artistic activities. Although the Eagles faced a great loss when Glenn Frey passed away in 2016, Don Henley and the remaining members continued to maintain the legacy of the band. They invited Glenn Frey's son, Deacon Frey, and Vince Gill to perform to keep the Eagles' spirit alive. To this day, the Eagles continue to tour and conquer new generations of audiences, proving that their music is timeless. Throughout his career, Don Henley was not only famous for his hit songs, but also his high-profile relationships, especially with music stars. One of his most memorable relationships was with Stevie Nicks, the lead singer of Fleetwood Mac, in the late 1970s. Don Henley's personal life. Don Henley and Stevie Nicks met at the height of their careers. At that time, Fleetwood Mac had just released Rumours, 1977, one of the best-selling albums of all time, while the Eagles were also dominating the charts with Hotel California, 1976. The two rock stars were quickly attracted to each other and began a romantic relationship. Stevie Nicks once shared that Don Henley was a thoughtful, sophisticated man, but also very direct and strong, which was both an attraction and a barrier in their relationship. While Henley tended to be quieter off stage, Nicks had a wild and rebellious style, which sometimes caused them to clash. Their relationship lasted for several years, but was subject to many fluctuations due to busy schedules, career pressures, and celebrity lifestyle. In an interview, Henley revealed that Nicks became pregnant with his child, but decided to terminate the pregnancy. According to him, if the child was born, they planned to name it Sarah, and it was this story that inspired Nicks to write the famous song Sarah, 1979. However, Nicks never confirmed this publicly. After the breakup, the two remained friends and had a certain respect for each other. Stevie Nicks once said that despite their past misunderstandings, she still cherished Don Henley as a talented colleague and a dear old friend. After a series of failed relationships, Don Henley finally found peace with Sharon Summerall, a famous former model. The two met in the early 1990s and quickly fell in love. In 1995, they officially got married in a lavish wedding in Aspen, Colorado, attended by many famous stars in the music industry such as Bruce Springsteen, Sting, Billy Joel, Jackson Browne, and, of course, the Eagles. Stevie Nicks, despite being Henley's ex-lover, was also present at the ceremony. What's special is that Henley always described Sharon as the woman who changed his life. Before meeting her, he lived in the tempting environment of rock music, but Sharon brought stability and helped him move towards a proper family life. Henley once said in an interview, "Sharon is the most wonderful person I have ever met. She is the light of my life, and I cannot imagine life without her." The couple has 3 children together, and Henley has always kept his family life very private. He rarely shares about his wife and children in public, partly because he wants to protect their privacy, and partly because he believes that family is the most precious thing that does not need to be ostentatious. In addition, Sharon Summerall was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune disease that affects the nervous system. This made Henley appreciate and protect his wife even more. He has participated in many charity activities and raised funds for multiple sclerosis research organizations to raise awareness and support people with the disease. Although he is a rock legend with millions of fans, Don Henley, in his life, he is a family-oriented man who cherishes a simple life. When he's not touring or making music, he spends his time with his wife and children and enjoys simple pleasures like reading, gardening, and protecting the environment. After years in the spotlight, Don Henley has finally found what matters most to him: a peaceful home where he can be himself, not a star, not an icon, but just a loving husband and father. Influence and legacy. Don Henley was not only the lead singer and drummer of the Eagles, but also one of the most influential songwriters and producers in American rock music. With his outstanding songwriting ability, he helped shape the Eagles' sound, a unique blend of rock, country, folk, and pop, creating an indelible mark in music history. Henley is known for his deeply personal songwriting style, reflecting on broad themes from love, loss, youth, and our age to politics and social issues. Songs such as Hotel California, The Boys of Summer, and The End of the Innocents are not only hits, but also works of artistic depth, analyzed and dissected for decades. Henley's ability to sing and play drums simultaneously also made him one of the few drummers who could both play the role of instrumentalist and lead vocalist. This helped him build a unique image in the rock music scene, influencing many generations of artists to come. In 1998, Don Henley and the members of the Eagles were honored in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, an important milestone, affirming their position in the global music industry. The ceremony honored the group with both Eagles lineups, including members from the early stages, such as Bernie Liardo and Randy Meisner, to later members, Isaac Joe Walsh and Timothy B. Schmidt. At this event, the Eagles performed two iconic songs, Take It Easy and Hotel California, as an affirmation that their music has transcended the boundaries of time and continues to be strong. Don Henley himself, with his illustrious solo career, is also considered one of the best solo artists to ever come out of a big band. He not only maintained his creative spirit after the Eagles disbanded in 1980, but also expanded his style into pop rock and contemporary, and continued to create works of high artistic and commercial value. One of the clearest evidence of the great legacy that Don Henley left behind is the huge album sales of the Eagles, with more than 200 million copies sold worldwide. This is an incredible number, making the Eagles one of the best-selling bands of all time. In particular, the album Their Greatest Hits, 1971 to 1975, still holds the record for the best-selling album in American history, with more than 38 million copies sold in the United States as of 2023. This demonstrates the enduring appeal of the Eagles and Henley's influence as one of the group's key songwriters. In addition, the album Hotel California, 1976, also sold over 32 million copies worldwide, with classic songs such as New Kid in Town, Life in the Fast Lane, and of course, Hotel California, which is still considered one of the greatest rock songs of all time. As time has passed, Don Henley's music, both as a solo artist and with the Eagles, continues to appeal to new generations of audiences. His music has been used in films, commercials, and television, and continues to inspire younger artists. For example, the song The Boys of Summer, 1984, has been covered by many artists, with a 2003 remix by the Ataris achieving great success, helping the song reach a younger generation. Not only that, but many modern artists have also acknowledged Don Henley as a major inspiration in their writing, including Taylor Swift, John Mayer, Keith Urban, Chris Stapleton, etc. Taylor Swift once called Henley one of the biggest influences on the way she writes lyrics. Do you have any special memories of a Don Henley or Eagles song, or is there a song of his that has impressed you the most in terms of lyrics and melody? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.